Hey everybody, this is Isaac with Hi JR Sings, and today I am with an up-and-coming music student. A lot of times, what's your name, by the way?
Lucas.
I forgot his name just that quick.
It's okay.
So, but seriously, we're just having a lot of fun. So a lot of times with my students, I always want to be real with my students and let them know what it takes to be a musician. And especially if you decide to major in music. So he's in school right now. He graduated. And so you mind telling us where you go?
I go to the University of North Texas, College of Music there, studying a classical degree in trumpet. So, yeah.
And so he's a trumpet player. And what else do you play?
I play guitar, try to sing a little bit, and then trying to learn piano. But yeah.
Yeah. He sung a few minutes ago. He needs to come to my class. So, I'm always honest with my students. The music industry is very, very tough. It is very competitive, and especially with a school like UNT, a lot of great musicians there. So we're just asking them a few questions. And so if you're interested in being a musician and going to school and getting a major in music, so we're going to ask them a few questions. And so hopefully we can answer some questions for you. What is the hardest part about being a student at UNT?
I would say the hardest part is being surrounded by a great variety of extremely motivated musicians who all are trying to achieve largely the same thing, becoming very skilled and specialized, as well as trying to diversify their own skill sets. The hardest part is being at the school and realizing that, there are a dime a dozen of really good musicians that you're all trying to do the same thing, and yeah.
So how do you find your spot around all of these great musicians?
I think the way to carve out your own spot like that is trying to not separate yourself from it and try and be as engaged as possible with everybody around you and trying to find a little community and people to talk to and practice with so you don't feel so isolated within your own little bubble of trying to improve.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as far as your professors,
okay,
what do you, just sort of general, don't give any names, of course.
Okay.
What do you think about your professors and the quality of education that you're getting there?
I am completely thrilled with it. I think it's really kind of amazing, the professors and what they're doing. I mean, obviously there's a great range of how you think somebody's personal style is on how they go about teaching a subject, but I think largely you can make the claim that everybody's working very hard and it's a great place to learn music, and the professors are very consistently proficient within the College of Music there.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
as you go about your day-to-day processes, what's the toughest part? I know, do you have a job? Do you work?
I do not work currently just because, the hours that a music major requires is pretty strict.
Okay, so tell us about that. What are the hours?
Okay, so I would say, the hours that you're looking at are like, you're going to have a performing ensemble, which is going to be at least, it can be 3 hours every other day, depending on the ensemble, as well as keeping up with the music that you're required to do in that specific ensemble, practicing to where you're not dragging them behind. You're keeping up with everybody in that ensemble, as well as your own personal things. You have private lessons, that you have your own personal, curriculum of things you're working through for those lessons that happen once a week, as well as classes that you need to practice, maybe different melodies for an oral skills class, say, or theory, working through that.
Well,
so
let's not forget the basics, like your math, your sciences.
Oh, what's that?
Exactly. As a musician, exactly. You have to go outside the music building? Yeah. So what are your other classes that you're taking besides your music classes? See, he doesn't even know.
Music history?
Yeah. Is that outside the music building?
No, it's in the music building.
Okay.
I will say, other than music, I'm taking a singular online journalism class right now. Get some variety in there.
You said journalism. Okay, so no English or math?
All those were done. You will have to take those, but I did those in high school. So no.
Okay. And that's one of the advantages. If you can take it in high school, and then you're done, or even take it at a they call it a JOCO, junior college, JUCO, junior college. You can take it there and have them to transfer. So then that way, that frees you up to just really, once you get to your university, strictly get into your major. Toughest piece you've had so far?
Toughest piece I've had
as far as and this is with your private lessons.
Private lessons. Well, I would say the toughest piece I did was, and it's not that tough, but for me personally, it was a piece I performed last semester called Boutade by a French composer, I believe, Gabe Pierre. And it was tough for me because it was basically an articulation study on trumpet. And it was everything that I struggle with on trumpet, all compiled in a sweet little package for me to play. It was very long and sustained. The horn is constantly on your face. You never really, you don't have like any multi-measure rests, to take it. It is one just straight down, and that's my greatest struggle on trumpet right now is long sustained endurance throughout a piece. So yeah, I would say that.
Excellent. So as you transition from high school to college, do you feel like you were adequately prepared for the level of musicianship that you were about to get into?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So but what made it difficult?
Well, what made it difficult is because I never really had any sort of classical training. And I say that in the sense that in Texas, we want to do it very specific. Whereas like if you're wanting to be a trumpet player, we don't care about anything other than you being as skilled on a trumpet as you can possibly be. There wasn't a lot of, well, here's a piano, or here's like basic music theory. I had teachers that would try to explain certain concepts, but none of it was in like a curriculum, they were going through. It was all just as they felt they wanted to say something related to a piece. So going to college, it was a humongous shock of just out of the gate what they were expecting of me with very little, preparation. Right.
And just for those of you that are wondering, a lot of the times if you don't get the opportunity to have private lessons in high school, you have a general band director and they play multiple instruments. And so what happens is they don't really have the time to really specify with you on that particular instrument, because they're just trying to show you the basics of every different instrument. And so and that is kind of a cool thing, because to be a band director in Texas, it is very tough. You have to take I can't remember what it's called, but you have to learn at least the basics of every single instrument. I myself, since I'm a vocalist, I learned one instrument, and that was voice. But unlike the piano, I can't really say, okay, put your voice like this. Whereas with the instrument, you can say, hey, do your fingers like this. Do your embouchure. Embouchure is your breathing. That's flute. Since I don't play flute, I don't really know what way it's supposed to go. I'm sorry to all you flutists out there, but I just don't know what way my hands are supposed to go. But I do know about embouchure, and embouchure is how you blow across that little hole that's in that pipe. So, but am I right?
You are correct. You are correct.
I know a little bit, not much. But yeah, and so then by the time you get to in a lot of the larger school districts, you are required to take private lessons. I think you come from a smaller district.
Yeah, I had never taken any sort of musical lessons before getting to college, so that was also a big challenge.
And that's a good thing. Yeah, and that's a good thing too. Same way with me. I came from a smaller school, and so when I got to when I got to college, I took my first voice lesson when I got into college. So we have that in common. So I definitely understand where he's coming from with that. So one of the what do you wish that you had in high school that would have prepared you for the college?
I wish I would have had a little bit more diverse skill set in music of, not crazy theory concepts, but knowing a little of this here and a little of this there, maybe dabbling on piano more, or trying to just diversify my own skill set more before going off to college and being like, well, I play trumpet.
That's it. That's all I do is play trumpet.
So trying to diversify yourself a little bit more before going to college, I think would be just extremely handy, because then you just have, a little bit of a head start.
Yeah. One of the things we talked about before the video is because he's a music student, he doesn't work right now. as a musician, I was lucky. I drove school bus. Yeah, I drove school bus. So, but everybody doesn't get that luxury. So, you know, I was telling him that probably last year I was looking at jobs, and so I'm technically overqualified because what they were looking for, and the jobs were very specific. They were looking for a guy that played guitar that could sing and lead praise and worship. I'm come from a choral background, so I learned how to train voices and put voices together. So putting multiple voices together. So what we did today was we were just kind of talking about that. So I just taught him just a little song that I heard on the radio once, and so we kind of put it together. I told him just a little chorus of that. So we're going to do that for you today. Kind of just, you know, put him out there. Even though he's a trumpet player, he has a very nice voice. So I want him to sing for you guys before we end this video. So and actually, Gray, if you remember Gray from our previous videos, this is his younger brother. So I'm gonna have Gray to come in, and we're gonna attempt this. We only did it once.
Coming in now.
Yeah, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try this one time, and so hopefully you will enjoy. And I'm trying to, you know, get him to on their praise and worship track because simply because churches right now don't have a lot of qualified musicians, or if they are qualified, they want to get exorbitant amounts of money. So with him being a college student, I know that's, you know, probably somebody out there that needs a young and up-and-coming praise and worship leader, maybe to lead your youth group or anything like that. So reach out to him or reach out to me, and I can get in contact with him. So, you know, and I'm, you know, trying to help him with the vocals a little bit. So, but he's at UNT. He won't need my help, of course, except with the black gospel stuff. So I can help him with that. So we're gonna try this. So hopefully you'll enjoy. All right. So you sing first. Wait. Oh.
Yahweh, be praised, Yahweh, 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 be praised, Yahweh, 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 be praised, Yahweh.
Hopefully you enjoyed that. And this is Isaac with Hi JR Sings, and I'm with Gray and
Lucas.
Hey, you guys take it easy. Peace.